Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Fulham. Now, this has been a huge month for us in terms of whether this season is going to be a success or a failure. And we're going to jump right in with the first game of the month. Now, I said I was going to rest players for the Manchester City game, and that is exactly what I did. We play, well, we look at the lineup. Ronald, Trinidad Vilhena seems to always play. I should have put Draga in perhaps, but I think Draga did come on as a sub. Plumane played, Donnelly, Zuccolini still played, Barloco, Alcasa, Mariga, Trash, Strand, Berisha, again a rare appearance, Johansson, our very, very young Swede, Patrick Roberts, and Sebastian Mayer, the sort of forgotten man at the club ever since he joined from St. Pauli. He's done well when he's played, I just can't seem to find a place for it. But we were absolutely battered. City scored for Aguero, and then Raheem Sterling made it 2-0, but we weren't even that bad, considering how weak our side was in comparison to theirs. Sterling's goal was a pain in the arse, one of those counter-attacking ones where they chip the goalie from 40 yards, which just seems to sail over his head when he makes no attempt to stop it. Sebastian Mayer got straight back in it with a fantastic finish, though, so it could have been a lot worse. I think I'll take that, frankly. It could have been a lot worse, and unfortunately, that is exactly what happened in our next game. I don't know how to say this, but I think it was horrible. This is going to be the highlighted game for the episode, but only because, just dearie me. I'm just going to jump straight into the highlights. I'll see you guys there. Right, so the big plan against Atlético was to just go out there and try and score as many goals as we could, and this one, Kevin Volland was the man that they sort of pinpointed as the attacking threat for Atlético, and he made sure on that. Just before half-time, by this point, bear in mind, we'd already had Ryan Tunnicliffe sent off. Like, Tunnicliffe got himself sent off in the first half, and I think that was pretty much what killed us. He just, without that anchor in the midfield, yeah, we had to change things up a little bit, but there wasn't a lot I could really do. So we kind of got overrun in the midfield, and I thought about putting another player in there, but the problem I was going to have with that is that where would I get that player from? I couldn't take him out of the back line because we needed that, and I couldn't take off someone like Trinidad Vilhena because we needed that creative force. So I just had to go with one midfielder, and Mandzukic makes it 2-0 there just after half-time, and now you're 2-0 down at home with 10 men in the Champions League. I thought, right, let's just try and keep this simple, try and keep this game tight, and until sort of the 73rd minute, we kind of did do that. We kept the ball quite well, started to come back in and create a few chances. Unfortunately, we were dispossessed once again in our own half because we just didn't have the numbers in there. Mandzukic slides the ball through for Jordi Classy, and, well, that's 3-0, and I'm thinking that's us out of the Champions League. Unless we can get a goal back and then go to Atlético and pull off some absolute miracles, which I didn't see us doing considering we'd not won an away game in Europe all season. Unfortunately, they then got to start taking the piss a little bit as 77 minutes came and went. The ball just came back to Antoine Griezmann, and Griezmann was able to make it 4-0. Jordi Classy then saw red. Unfortunately, it wasn't... Well, actually, when he saw red, things were evened up for 10 minutes, and I just thought, fuck it, let's go overload. So we overloaded things to try and get a goal back, and we did, in fact, manage to get one. And I thought, well, you know, 4-1, let's do this. And who else to get the goal? But it was, in fact, that man there, Costas Fortunis. You'll see him in a minute when eventually we do win the ball back. Fortunis drops the ball off here to Trinidad Vilhena. The ball sort of gets a bit lucky here as he picks up the ball, but it's yet another pinpoint strike in the far corner from Fortunis, who's just been on fire. Like, I know I've said he's been good lately, but this was a month and a half. We are fortunate to have Fortunis. He is unbelievable. And we actually had a chance there to make it 4-2 in between that, and possibly it was a golden opportunity, really. And I thought this was going to be... This could have been 4-3. We really did... Like, I thought, oh my god, we're going to get another one. But, unfortunately, Atlético broke. And even... No, 4-1 was a just those kind of things. And then Stekelenburg was unable to stop Mario Mandzukic from grabbing another goal. 5-1 defeat at home to Atlético. It was shocking, and I knew we were going to go out unless we pull off a miracle, because even if we won 4-0 in Spain, we'd still go out. We had to score 5 goals, basically, no matter what happened. We had to go to Spain and score 5 times, and I know we've scored a lot of goals this season, but that was too much to ask, surely. So we move on to the next league game, which was Tottenham away, and as you can see, Fortunis, again, we didn't deserve anything from this. Well, actually, what we're talking about, we were brilliant in this game. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different game against Spurs. We were fantastic, and if it wasn't for those 2 quick goals from Nelson Oliveira and Christian Eriksen, we would definitely deserve to at least get a point from this game. But it took us until the 88th minute to find the back of the net. I think we won the game like 5-1 on clear cuts, but yet again, unable to make the thing count. The Spurs had a stadium extension. 48,300. Oh, the new White Hart Lane. I see. I didn't know that was built in. 2016. 56,000. Right, here's a question for you guys. Is that just something that's just arbitrarily happened in the game? Or is there something built in? Because I know Spurs are actually looking at getting a new stadium in next to White Hart Lane in a couple of years. I don't know if they've actually had... I think they've had the planning permission approved, but I don't think they had when this game was released. So that's interesting. Big as hell as well. Dear, they are in some debt. Unlike us. We are really doing quite... Oh, actually... Oh, okay, but... Our balance is still alright. We're actually not in debt, so to speak. So we'll take it. Now, just returning to the fixtures here. Our next game, well, it was against Atlético. And I don't know how we did this, but we went... Yeah, now you're thinking, how the hell did you do that? Well, I honestly don't know the answer to that question. We went to... Atlético went to... Estadio de Madrid. I could have sworn their stadium was called something else. And they were massively better than us. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But Casasola put us in front. Fortunis was, again, Fortunis. 3rd game in a row he scored. Or maybe even 4th game. I can't remember. I think it might even be the 4th game in a row he scored. Was able to make it 2-0. And I thought, oh, maybe. So we just absolutely thumped. We went for it. Although it doesn't appear to show that on the scoreline. Not the scoreline, the stats. We did absolutely go for it. Unfortunately... Yulsgaard was sent off in the 67th minute, and we still kept going for it. We're still playing alright football. And then Griezmann got one back for them, and then Zuccolini was able to be sent off. Zuccolini and Yulsgaard seems to be the 2 players that get sent off for us on a regular basis. Zuccolini's 4th red of the season, and Yulsgaard actually hasn't had one yet, but he did go through a bad patch a couple of seasons ago where he was getting sent off all the time. Now, we won 2-1 in Atlético, in Spain, with 9 men finishing the game. And normally that's a fantastic result if you haven't lost the first leg 5-1. And I can't really say that they didn't play a changed lineup or anything. They were very, very strong. So, Kofi Sigurdsson's in place for them now? So I can't say that we didn't play well. It was a bit of a smash and grab, admittedly, when you look at how many chances they had and they missed. I mean, they did definitely outdo us in terms of clear cuts. We actually had 4, but they had 7 clear cut chances in that game. So we actually could have scored a couple more goals and missed a couple of sitters at points, but we were very lucky to escape with that. And unfortunately, that was the end of our Champions League odyssey, which is a shame, but it's the quarterfinals, so you can't really say that we didn't overperform, because we did. And now, yeah, we're going to move on to the next game of the month, which was away at Crystal Palace. And, yeah, it happened again. Fortunis for the 4th game in a row, and for, well, let's have a look here. He scored, no he didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's scored in like 6 of his last 8 league games. 6 of his last games. Sorry, I appear to have swallowed my tongue. 6 of his last 8 games in all competitions, he's just finding the net. And that's great. Unfortunately, Palace were also finding the net in this game, and they scored in the first and last minute of this game. And everything else in between was pretty much all us. Odegaard and Fortunis, the 2 wingers, grabbing the goals for us. But we absolutely battered them. They had no clear-cut chances in the game. Scored 2 goals, though. And, it was so frustrating. I was beginning to worry about our position in terms of staying in 4th place now, because that is our main concern, is getting back into the Champions League just for the board. Obviously, we won't be doing next season, but still, it's useful to have. Next, we went away to Hull, and thankfully, we were able to redeem ourselves a little bit. And Kostas Fortunis did not score in that game, which is surprising. Unfortunately, we did pick up 2 injuries that I've pretty much put them out for the rest of the season, I think, in this game, which was not good at all. Tunnicliffe and Trindade de Vilhena both went off injured, are both out for the rest of the season, I think. Mitroglou grabbed himself 2 quick ones. Odegaard and Paco Alcácer, proving that he can still score goals. He's had a great record for us this year, frankly, and he's a great impact player. If you can get Paco Alcácer as an impact player, then do, because he's fantastic. Perhaps not using him all the time, but definitely as an impact player, he's a wonderful player to have. Now, that gave us some more points. Now, have we got any more games? Yes, we did. We had Southampton, and look who popped up again. 2 goals for Kostas Mitroglou. Not Mitroglou, what am I talking about? Kostas Fortounis. 2 more goals. Now, we should have had more in this game against Southampton. Skirtle's goal was a sort of blip on the radar in that game. It's surprising that Frank Lampard is still playing in the Premier League for Southampton. He's 38 years old now, and his contract, he's still got another season left at Southampton, and frankly, when you look at his stats and his ability rating, he could still do a job. Like, if I was to continue this sort of... see, he's not really good for that kind of role. He's more of a box-to-box kind of player, isn't he? Although, frankly, his stats probably... Yeah, I mean... But look at those. I mean, his mental stats are absolutely off the charts. 20 leadership. He's a hell of a leader, but look at these. If I was doing another season, I might even look into getting him in. He's, I don't know. But you'd think he'd probably retire after this time with Southampton. But the point is, we got another win, and that was hugely important for us. And Fortounis scored another 2 goals. Now, I think that is it. There are 2 games left, which I will now show you this season. We've got away at QPR and away at Wigan. Now, I said that I'd be happy if... Well, actually, we've done... I would have wanted to get 9 points from those games. But we've got 7, unfortunately, which is a shame. But Fortounis' form is certainly pleasing. I'd like to try and pick up wins, or at least 4 points from the QPR and Wigan games. Just really go for it and see what we can do in the last couple of games of the season. Let's just take a look at the league. City, I mean, it's so tight at the top, it's unreal. City are currently top, but Chelsea do have a game in hand, and Man United are right in there as well. We are out of the league title. We no longer can win the league. But we're 8 points clear of Newcastle, which is great to see. Unfortunately, still, Liverpool have 3 games in hand on us. And if they do win those games, they'll go on to 65 points and be 2 points behind us still. There was a stage when we lost to City and Spurs that Liverpool could have overtaken us if they won their games in hand. Unfortunately, they've dropped a couple of points in some rather silly circumstances in the league, and it has allowed us to sort of push on, and I think we will be alright. We need, well, if we can win one of our last 2 games, we should be okay, and that should do it for us. You notice that Fortounis is now on the top scorer stats in the Premier League, which is crazy. Sunderland and Huddersfield have both been relegated as well. Let's take a look at the stats for the players. And, well, you're going to notice something very specific here. Firstly, Stekelenburg, top appearance maker, but now look, top goal scorer. Fortounis now has 21 goals in all competitions. I think that might be our first 20-goal-a-season player, and it's a bloody right winger. I would have thought it would either been Kostas Mitroglou or Alcácer when you look at the amount of goals that they were scoring earlier in the season, but it wasn't to be. 21 for Fortounis. I can't see Mitroglou scoring that many goals in the last couple of games, so I think Fortounis is going to finish our league's top goal scorer, which is fantastic. Our top goal scorer in the league, and definitely the cup. In fact, if you look at the league form, he's out of sight, I think. He's got 18 in the league. Mitroglou only has 6. He's scored a few goals, but 12 of them have been in the cup. So, in fact, let's just have a look at Mitroglou. 5 goals in the cup, 7 in Europe, but then only 6 in the league, which is a bit poor, to be honest. And I'm actually surprised that he scored so few. Alcácer is kind of the opposite of that. He's scored 11 goals in the league. He got 8 in pre-season, which is pretty decent. 1 in the cup, 1 in the Champions League. So, you know, 13 goals overall for him there. And now let's just go back and get the stats back to overall. Top assister, Fortounis. And he's bound to win that now because Trinidad de Vilhena is out for the rest of the season. So he's going to win that as well. He's also broken a record as the most player of the matches in one season. Thomas Draga actually held that record. I think that was from, must have been from our first Premier League season when he was absolutely on fire. But Fortounis has broken it. He's been man of the match 7 times, but Mitroglou has also won 6, so a bit sucky for him. Zuccolini, 83. Botoli, 82. Not bad. Not bad at all. Most yellows, Zuccolini with 14 and 4 reds. It's a pretty bad disciplined season, if I'm honest. Average rating, best player, Fortunis. Tunnicliffe's injuries kind of stuck him down the order a little bit. That and the fact that Fortunis has been absolutely unplayable this month. He's flown out there and he's been very, very consistent. He's not got injured this year. 45 appearances for us and an average of 7.28. If he doesn't win some kind of award this season for something, I will be furious. That kind of record deserves recognition, frankly. And he's got to win, I don't know, PFA. Is he, how old is he? He probably can't win the Young Players Award. 24. I don't know whether you can win the Young Players Award if you're 24 years old. But Football Writers Player of the Year, PFA Player of the Year, League Player of the Year, LMA. This is not an LMA one. But the point is, he deserves some kind of award for his performances this season. And we will find out if he gets that in the next episode, which will be the final episode, which you'll be seeing later today, because it is now Friday lunchtime, or it should be if I've put this video up at the correct time. So you'll be seeing the final episode tonight, where there is a little bit of, pardon my speaking again, there is only going to be 2 games in the episode, so I might just show you the highlights of both of them, depending on how good they are to watch, and then we will go through some of the leagues and look at some of the awards and see what else is happening, and that will be that for Rebuilding Fulham. But if you like what you've seen and if you've enjoyed this series, please feel free to hit that like button, and if you want to see cool new stuff on Football Manager 15, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the final episode. Bye bye.